Hi everyone, my name is Emily Sands. Welcome back to my fitness channel. I'm a personal trainer and an online coach coaching women in fitness, and today's video is going to be all about body recomposition. So let's just get started straight away. What is body recomposition? So body recomposition, or body recomp as you might have heard it referred to online, is basically the process of building muscle and losing body fat at the same time. Lots of people online will tell you that this isn't possible and that you can't do it. However, this isn't entirely true. In this video, I'm going to break down what exactly body recomposition is, how it works, and how you can adjust this for your own training plan. So going back to talking about beginners versus advanced / intermediate lifters, it kind of depends on where you are at in your gym experience or your gym journey, and what kind of category your body will fall under. So some are going to find this a lot easier than others. So beginners normally tend to find body recomposition very easy, especially if you've never been to the gym before, you've never lifted before, and you have no clue on what it is you should be doing or how you should be training. It's very easy to just incorporate in your plan and take it from step one. Whereas if you're thinking about someone who is potentially intermediate / advanced level, it's going to be slightly harder for you guys because you've already been in the gym, you've probably built a lot of muscle already, or have gone through a fat loss phase. It's going to be slightly trickier, and there's a different way that body recomposition will work for you. But let's start off with the beginners and basically what it is and how you're going to be able to achieve this. So for beginners, I would aim to recommend trying to get to the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week max, okay? When you first step in the gym, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're not really going to know what it is that you should be doing unless you've done your research. If you have a personal trainer, obviously this progress is going to be a lot easier for you to maintain and kind of get used to. But if you're doing this by yourself, I would say 2 to 3 times a week is perfect just for you to get into the routine. Also want to make sure that you are progressively overloading this every single week. So progressively overloading is going to help you build strength and muscle. So this means that you're either going to be adding weight every single week or you're going to be adding more reps. So say for example you did a 20 kg lat pull down one week, the next week you might want to try 22.5 kg. This is basically going to keep pushing you to grow even more muscle mass. This is the most important step. If you stay at the same weight for 6 weeks, you're not going to grow. So you need to be constantly adding that weight or reps. So your plan should primarily be a weight training plan. So this should be done 2 to 3 times a week, as just mentioned, and you can also add in some cardio as well. You don't have to be doing cardio every single day of the week. It could literally be 1 to 2 times a week. You can do this after your weight training sessions or on other days if you want to. I would start this cardio off with low intensity. So for example, it could be doing a lot of walking, or an incline walk is probably better on the treadmill, or even the bike. What this is going to do is it's basically going to help to work your aerobic system and get you used to doing cardio. You don't need to be doing 5Ks every single day. You don't need to be on the Stairmaster for 45 minutes at a time. In this stage, we're just trying to build the consistency and getting comfortable to doing the exercise. So don't overcomplicate it, don't overwhelm yourself. And then as you go through this whole process, you can start to add bits on here and there. So the second thing that you want to be focusing on is going to be your nutrition. So if you're trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, there's a few key things that you really need to pay attention to. The first thing is that you're going to need to be in a calorie deficit. And what a calorie deficit basically means is that you're going to be burning more calories than you consume. So for example, if you're consuming 2,000 calories a day, you want to be able to burn off more than what you are consuming, and then this will put you into a calorie deficit. The next point that I want to touch on is tracking food. So from my experience and the clients that I have met over the last year or so, some of them don't have a great idea on what nutrition actually is. Many of us aren't taught the correct ways to balance our nutrition. Some people think that what they're having is really healthy, but actually when they look at their macros, they realize that maybe there's better options out there for them. However, tracking is not for everyone. If you have issues with eating disorders, I wouldn't say that it's 100% necessary. However, it does give you a basic idea of what you are consuming. The one thing that I can recommend is that you need to make sure that you're getting your daily protein intake. We classify protein as being the best macronutrient for building muscle and also helping with recovery. and it is recommended that you should have around 1.4 grams per kilogram of body weight. So just to recap everything, you're going to want to be on a strength training plan with some cardio 2 to 3 times a week at a base. You want to make sure that you are focusing on your nutrition and that you are getting enough protein daily. You also want to make sure that you are resting and recovering, okay? Sleep, rest and recovery are the most important things to building a body in the gym. If you're not sleeping and not recovering properly, you're going to find this process a whole lot harder. So now we're going to move on to those who are intermediate or slightly more advanced lifters. The whole term body recomp can be slightly difficult for you. This is probably because you've already built quite a lot of muscle. You might have lost some fat along the way. However, now you're kind of looking to either cut or bulk. You've probably heard these terms before online. And basically, as simple as it is, cutting is when we are in a calorie deficit and bulking is when we are in a calorie surplus, okay? So your cutting is basically more of an aggressive term of what we just spoke about with the beginner lifters. Cutting is making sure you're in a calorie deficit. You're still making sure that you're doing your weight training and that you are pushing hard in that training. And then you're also topping that off with quite a bit of cardio. And this is basically going to help you to lose the body fat. Some muscle can be lost in this process, which is why it's really important, once again, to make sure you're sticking to your nutrition and your protein goals and also pushing really hard in your training. If you give up on your weight training and you just focus on your cardio, you will see muscle loss, okay? You're not going to lose everything. As long as you combine your weight training and your cardio together and make sure you're still training hard when you're doing your weights, that's when you're going to make sure you keep some of your muscle and it's going to give you more of a leaner look when you've finished. Bulking is being in a calorie surplus, so essentially you're eating more food. Now this can be quite difficult for women. I mean, especially in the social media, realm and in society, women are kind of, taught to be skinny and that we shouldn't be too fat and that having muscle is too manly. Sometimes when I say to clients or people that are asking me about bulking, you're probably going to put on a little bit of extra body fat. Some women get really scared and they don't want anything to do with that and they don't want to eat the extra calories. In the long run, if bulking and muscle mass is something that you genuinely want to do, this is going to help you build more muscle. However, you don't have to do a bulk to build more muscle. You can easily just stay at maintenance calories and just push really hard in your training. Again, making sure you're getting your protein in, and you will build muscle. It will just take slightly longer. Personally, I have never really strictly cutted or bulked in my fitness career and in my gym life as to now. I'm more aware of what I'm putting into my body and kind of planning it around the goals that I have. So for example, if I'm going on holiday, instead of aggressively cutting, I might tailor back my calories a little bit more, maybe up my cardio. Or if I want to build my muscle over the winter, normally what I do is, like I just said, I stay at my maintenance, but just fuel my body a little bit more and push even harder in my sessions. It entirely depends on how strict you want to be and what results you want. You have to remember that if you have a goal in mind, you need to be really honest with yourself because you are going to have to make sacrifices. If you want to be really lean and shredded for summer, then you're going to have to stop eating the stuff that you want to eat that you know are adding extra calories, for example, cake, biscuits, ice cream, etc. That's when you have to be really honest with yourself and say, is this something that I truly want? Because if it is, then you are going to have to make those sacrifices, and that's something that you need to be aware of. It's also really key to point out on this overall topic of beginners, intermediate and advanced lifters that what you see online might not be best for you, okay? So what I eat in a day might not work for you. How I train might not work for you. It's the same thing as me seeing someone on Instagram, they might not be training the way that's best for me. So it is really about listening to your body and figuring out and having a play around with it. Fitness is supposed to be fun, it's experimental. You're not supposed to get things right every single time. It's going to take time to see progress. So it is completely possible for everybody to be able to achieve body recomposition. Just make sure that you are hitting your protein goals, making sure you're resting and recovering, making sure that you're training hard, and most importantly that you're actually enjoying the training that you are doing. It has to be fun and it shouldn't feel like a chore. I always try and be 100% honest with you guys and try and give you as much information as I possibly can to help you within your fitness journeys, okay? So please just take this on board and go and have fun with it. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to me, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is Emily Sands Fitness and it's the same on TikTok as well. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.